Zoe Dronfield from Finham in Coventry.
Lovely, thank you, Zoe. So, I guess, in a way, it's really good news that he's got longer and, it's another 6 months. So I guess you must be quite pleased from that respect. But it was, I suppose, something that, with all that had happened anyway, you didn't want that extra harassment, did you?
No, absolutely not. But I think it's really crucial that I saw it through to the end and obviously got that conviction on his file. And I think that the main thing is the relief that he actually did go guilty in the end. So he's now starting to admit that, he did something wrong, because all the way along he's just completely flatly denied everything, even though the evidence is stacked up against him. But yeah, there was a massive sense of relief when the barrister came up and said, he's pled guilty, and the judges agreed to give him 6 months. He would have got longer, obviously, if he'd have gone through a trial and was found guilty. So yeah, I'm really pleased.
And I suppose it's good in a way that, like you say, he's, I don't know if taking responsibility is the right way, but, at least he's just admitted it and he didn't have to go back through that court process. So I guess that was good from your point of view, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think, for me, the shock and the horror, obviously, of what happened, but the fact that he absolutely flatly denied it, and those calls that he was making to me from prison, he was actually saying, I didn't do it, you did it to yourself, and, you foul, and clearly, excuse me, clearly those injuries were not from falling, because obviously, I had 15 separate injuries. It would be quite a fall, wouldn't it, really? So, yeah, I'm pleased.
And I guess, like you say, that he was making those calls from prison. And how did you feel when you sort of received that? Because initially I think he was trying to, it wasn't that threatening, but it kind of developed a bit, I suppose, didn't it?
Yeah, initially, obviously, he was trying the tactic that I wouldn't do that to you, I love you, you foul, I was trying to help you. And I was like, are you being serious, Jason? Do you seriously think that, I was there, I know what happened. And when he realised that tactic wasn't working, it then became more menacing, and it was more, well, if I wanted you dead, you'd be dead, and, I can send somebody round to the house. I want to see that you're safe, but I could send someone round. So it was kind of like, in one word saying one thing, and then in the next saying, threatening and, being intimidating. Yeah, so it was frightening. Obviously, I'm a single mother at home on my own, so it was frightening, and I ended up having to get additional security on my property, and I was on fast response with the police.
And were you, I don't know how this part sort of works, but were you concerned that he was able to contact you from prison whilst things were sort of still ongoing? I guess most ordinary people would be shocked that he was able to do that anyway. Yeah, I was absolutely horrified. I'm aware of buildings that you walk into and you can't get signal on your phone because something's blocked the signal, but yet you can get signal from a prison. Now, you'd think that there would be blanket blocking on mobile phones from prisons, because then they wouldn't feel the need to get mobile phones smuggled in, which is what he'd obviously done. So, yeah, absolutely shocked, because, and the fact is, that's why I answered the call, because the number that came up was a mobile number. So I answered it, innocently, and it was him. So, it was a state of shock, really. And I guess just the sort of the main thing about that was the fact that you'd been attacked by him once, you'd gone through and taken that to court, and then for him to carry on harassing you, it's sort of insult to injury almost, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, but frighteningly shows the absolute delusion, and this is a man that I thought I knew, and we were in a relationship, but clearly he's not the person, he really isn't the person that he portrayed to me throughout the relationship, which is what's quite frightening.
But there is some sort of positive in a way, and I know that sounds like a strange thing to say, but, he's been put away for longer, and ultimately that gives you sort of a good, decade now that, that you're kind of free of him. Yeah,
absolutely. And, the fact that that it will also be on his file as well, because obviously he will still be a young man when he comes out. He'll still be, he'll only be 41. He's no doubt going to start another relationship with somebody, and if they do decide to use Clare's law, then obviously he'll have that on his record. So that's a good thing.
Definitely. And just the final thing, you were talking about, obviously you've set up that group now. Tell me a little bit about that, because I'm keen to sort of find out what you've been doing aside from that. So run me through the kind of group that you said you'd set up.
Yeah, well, off the back of what happened to me, I set up a charity which now we're supporting survivors of domestic abuse. And every Saturday I'm running a confidence and fitness class for ladies at the Toe to Toe boxing gym in Coventry. It's between 2 and 3. It's for an hour, but we'll all get together, and it's just, I mean, the main kind of, the starting point of any kind of domestic abuse is isolation, and I think it's now trying to pull people out of that isolation and build them back up again. And if you've come out the other end, just to grow on your confidence. So yeah, we're running a group which is going to be great, and it's had loads of interest already, which is fantastic. But you can get information on the I Want My Mummy Facebook page. If you inbox on there, then I can send information about the group if you're interested.
Cool. Anything else that you wanted to tell me about? I wanted to make sure I asked you about the group as well, so I've got a clip there about that. But anything else that you wanted to mention, or are you happy with that?
No, I'm just really happy. And then obviously, just to give a mention to Refuge, the charity, the domestic violence charity, who supported me throughout the process. They were really brilliant.
Yeah, I think we've mentioned those last time.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
Cool. All right, then. I'm going to stop it recording there. So if you want to do the same thing on your iPhone as well, you might need to unlock the screen again, so just to get it to come back up again.
Yeah.
And